From the top of the town at 715 Main Street in historic Deadwood, it's time for another episode of the DTC Blow and Smoke Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the DTC Blow and Smoke Podcast. I am your host, Handsome Pierce, along with always.
Hello, I'm Eye Candy Randy, and right behind the board over there, mixing and mastering is Ethan, the Preacher.
The Preacher.
So we were working on some taglines for the podcast before we came online. What was yours? I don't know what mine was.
The tagline for the podcast?
Yeah, you were saying something about the podcast?
Oh, no, you go first.
No, mine, okay.
I mean, by all means.
Mine's more the closer. DTC Blow and Smoke Podcast. $100,000 of equipment, 10 cents of talent.
10 cents of talent. That is
There
great.
you go.
Yeah. No, I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah.
Pretty people that look even worse on camera. We are gorgeous if you come into the shop.
And
don't let the cameras fool you. They add 10 pounds and about, 30 wrinkles.
well, and I can't speak for the river otter on his chin, but my beard is extra fluffy today.
This is a beaver, thank you. Goodness gracious.
I mean, it was last night.
Oh.
Welcome.
Welcome, guys.
Can you tell we haven't done this for a little while?
It's been a minute.
We're a little salty today, but
Yeah.
we've got a fun one lined up that Pierce has been working on for quite a while now. What are we doing today?
We are doing your favorite celebrities' smokes, where they started smoking, and a little bit of stories behind them all. It's always fun to kind of get to the antithesis of a habit that we've created, be it better or worse, or better or worse, better or worse. We're all going to start with a cork board this morning. Randy, we got some things on the cork board, but first, like, subscribe, smash. Either one of us. Well, not him. He's married. Smash me. Other than that, comment. We do have one thing coming up that's really fun. We had somebody reach out to us.
Yes. With a legitimate, honest, and respectful question.
We're in the big time, boys.
It does have swearing in it, as we would expect.
It does.
Before we get to all that, here's what we're going to talk about a little bit. It's just some shop stuff going on. We have done some really fun podcasts. We did Smoke, Marry, Kill, and then we did Agree or Disagree. This one's going to be in that same vein, but before we get to that, here's a little shop business. We know you like to stop into the shop. So come this weekend is Memorial Day weekend. So it's going to be the official kickoff of the summer season here at Deadwood Tobacco and the Black Hills. We have Johnny Hastings and Stillhouse Down rocking the stage, 8 o'clock both Friday and Saturday night. Of course, free shows. They'll play to midnight, so make sure you swing in for that. And we have Deadwood Bluesfest is going strong. Knock on wood, when this airs, the Preacher, Wild Bill, and I should be on our way to La Vista, right outside of Omaha, to check out the Kingfish and Samantha Fish Gone Fishing Tour down there. So we're going to hopefully, we're negotiating with their people, and our people called their people, and our people is me, trying to get them to let us shoot a little bit backstage and do a little podcast action for you. So if that doesn't work, we'll still have them on the podcast at a later date via the technology of the interwebs. But it'd be nice to go down and do that, and then no hiding the secret. We want to see the show. So.
My old stomping grounds, man. I'm excited. And to kind of get a preview of what's coming this summer.
Absolutely.
Nice.
So that's July 11th, 12th, and 13th. DeadwoodBluesfest.com. Get your tickets. VIPs are, I think we had about 20 VIPs left out of 200. So if you want those, get those now, or you can always give us a ring or email info@deadwoodbluesfest.com. We'll get you all hooked up. General admission, seating, standing party pit, all good availability on that. Thank you, Do Deadwood. Bid number 8 for all of their support. Bid 9, and of course, La Aurora Cigars. And can't forget Shiner Maxwell with Shiner Beer for supporting the inaugural, not the first annual, inaugural Deadwood Blues Fest. So check it out, deadwoodbluesfest.com. All right, that's enough shop business.
There we go, guys. That's enough to smash. As also with that really expensive sound equipment that we got in there, that cost us $150, just to let you guys know. We're also going to start off by telling us, what are we smoking? Mr. Andy, what are you smoking?
Because of a listener email that we're going to get to later, possibly, I went with a Gurkha cigar. Ethan says, keep it even with my face so that the there we go. This is the Leaf Year of the Dragon. Sorry, not the Leaf. This is the Gurkha Year of the Dragon. It's not by Leaf by Oscar. That's the third quarter. I think this is the fourth quarter. This is by Oliva Cigars. So it's a delicious proprietary blend, which gets me out of the hard question telling you what the wrapper, filler, binder is. I think to me, it's like a medium smoke, a little bit of spice, a little bit of cedar. And today I have paired it with this delicious Shiner. No, God.
Wow.
We haven't done this for
We
a
are
while.
misrepresenting here.
So this is a Gurkha, not an Oliva. This is a Sawyer, not a Shiner. And there is your outtake for this podcast. It's Cadillac Couch Mexican Lager. That's all I'm going to say about it, Pierce.
Yes. I am yes. In honor about talking about the Deadwood Bluesfest, I am smoking one of these lovely La Aurora anniversaries, the 120th anniversary. It has a Habano wrapper. It's got Corojo. It's got Olor. I don't know how to say that word. It's got Pilato Cubano. Anyways, it's about a medium-bodied cigar, and it is delightful so far. It's my first time diving into it, but I'm pretty excited to get into the second third and the third, as everybody else on a podcast with cigars has to make sure that they mention. Anyways, we are super excited to talk about some of our favorite celebrities. I did a little bit of research that I have not probably done that much research since high school. Yeah, and I don't think I did it back then either.
Do you want me to grade this for you?
Yeah, please.
Cool.
Yep. All right, so we're going to start off with, I mean, you're probably going to know everybody that's on this list, but the first one was so obvious, so key for the cigar world and how many people he got on cigars. Randy, who were we talking about?
We're going to talk a little bit about the origin stories on these people, at least the stuff that they've admitted publicly. Ooh. So we're starting with the Governor. That's right. Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's right. He is the massive cigar smoker. You'll see it. That was not close.
That was close.
All right. That's right. Ethan, how do you really say it?
I mean, it would be Schwarzenegger.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
No, that's exactly what he said.
100%. You don't have to bleep that one out, YouTube. We're still going to get the E for explicit content. I'll tell you that much.
That is true.
So
this is not your children's podcast.
No. So his preference, well, a lot of these won't surprise you. Some will. You're going to see a lot of heritage names on here. So we're starting off with one of those. That's the Partagas Serie D and the Fuente Opus X. Now, a lot of these cigars are going to be traced back to other people because obviously when you start smoking cigars, rarely are you the person that just wakes up and go, you know what? I want to be extra cool today. So I'm going to start smoking cigars.
I want that big Partagas D in my mouth right away when I wake up in the morning.
Wouldn't be the first big D. Oh,
hey!
There you go.
All right.
Just line them up. Dick jokes galore. That's why we win all of them Emmys. Do they give Emmys for podcasts?
I don't think so.
All right. We win the
now they will.
The potties.
Now that we're doing the crossover episodes, they certainly will.
So Arnold was introduced by actually the father of his wife. If you don't know, he's married to Maria Shriver, who is a Kennedy. So Sergeant Shriver was her father, got him into cigars. So this had to be late 70s.
It was the 70s, yeah.
Yep, late 70s. So he's been known to have them in a lot of his movies. And you'll notice that's a through line as well in some of these things. So we thought we would start with, obviously, one of the godfathers of our generation. Pierce and I are both over 30.
Over 30.
Yep.
Just over 30.
Just over 30 and just under how old Ethan is.
Yep.
And so his movies were our childhood. So there you go. Arnold starting it off, getting started by his father-in-law. Very nice way to learn to smoke cigars. Partagas Serie D and the Fuente Opus X, a couple of Arnold's favorites.
It was kind of funny when I was doing this research. Arnold actually was talking about how he used to smoke these little tiny quote-unquote shit cigars when he was doing his Mr. Universe in Munich. And then when he got over here and he started smoking real cigars with Sergeant. And by the way, I guess it was probably a pretty loosey-goosey household with the name of Sergeant for your father. But Arnold actually did get a lot of people into cigars. The next person on our list, Danny motherfucking DeVito.
I love DeVito.
So DeVito was actually introduced to smoking cigars by Schwarzenegger when they recorded the film Twins. And the really funny story about that is Arnold came up to him with a box of cigars, and knowing that Mr. DeVito was on a diet, also a box of pastries just to be a dick, which I think is hilarious. So the Danny DeVito, by the way, does the Partagas Series O, number 2. But DeVito got back at Mr. Schwarzenegger in a very particular way, being the prankster that he is, and he gave him a marijuana-laced cigar before one of his scenes. So Arnold smoked the cigar and then couldn't do the scene because he couldn't remember any of his lines because DeVito dosed him. another fun story, and it's well documented. It's out there, so I'm probably going to butcher this a little bit. But when Danny DeVito finished the filming of The War of the Roses, there was a transatlantic flight that he was on, and he had just had a big meal, and he had a couple of drinks in him, and he was feeling good. He had a couple of cigars in his pocket, and he goes, I'm going to ask this lovely stewardess if I can smoke a cigar. Back to him, she said, yeah, if you get permission from everybody on the plane, then you can smoke that cigar. So DeVito walked up and down the aisles and asked every single person on the plane that was still awake if he could enjoy his cigar. And the last guy that he got to that was sitting 2 seats away from him in first class said, absolutely not. There's no way you're lighting this up or lighting that cigar up in this plane. Unless you give me one too. And that would be me. I was 7 years old. That was me.
There you are.
Roundabout, yep.
And just the balls of that to go, hey, you know what? I mean, it never hurts to ask. He is Danny DeVito, and it's pretty famous. I mean, he's still famous, but it's pretty famous back then. So
I really wish I knew exactly when that was, because I kind of want to replicate that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right now, well, these days, it's
everyone's going to tell me no, but
right. It was War of the Roses, so that was what 95 through 96. I don't know. It's mid to late 90s.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah,
that's funny because if Ethan tried that now, then he'd end up in El Salvador, not in a good way. Bye-bye. No. Bye-bye. The next one that we have is my personal favorite. If you saw a little segment that we did, what did we call that, Ethan? See, this is not my day. When we were having quick smoke with, we talked about, one of the questions was, hey, who would you want to have a cigar with, or what's your holy grail cigar? And I said this one only because it's expensive, and it is, before I tell you who, the Partagas Lusitania. It is a Churchill only. It's a very large cigar, not a big ring gauge, but a long cigar, medium to medium, full-bodied, Cuban, obviously.
Right.
And that is the greatest of all time. Fuck you, LeBron, Mr. Michael Jordan.
Hey!
Yep, started smoking cigars in 91 after he won the championship, and he actually would drive himself to the arena in the following years as a relaxation. He's like, you know what? I've got a long commute. Traffic is bad in Chicago. So we started to smoke a cigar before every single home game. And if you go back on the interwebs, I know it exists because I've seen it, you'll see him driving a variety of very expensive early to mid-90s sports cars. And there he is, cigar in hand, puffing away as he heads to work. Also very, very well known to have one on the golf course. And just so in case you wanted to know, the last time I did a price check on the Partagas Lusitania, US, about $95 a stick.
Oh.
If you can get your hands on it.
Yeah, exactly. Jordan, God. Anything that I've ever seen about him is just how intense he could be. So I could just picture him driving in his Ferrari or whatever the hell he's driving, just puffing down on that cigar to get rid of anxiety.
Yeah, because, let's see, I'm so anxious. I'm the greatest athlete in the world. I'm filthy rich.
I don't know. Should I keep doing this or should I play baseball? I just have no fucking clue. Speaking of super rich and super influential, next person on our list, Jay-Z. Jay-Z, Sean Carter. He is particular for the Monte Cristos, the Romeo y Julietas, and this pimpin' guy has his own Cohiba Commander that he started with Cohiba. He said that he knew that Cohiba would at least take him seriously when he was creating the cigar. So you can find it online. I checked online. I think it's about that same price line for a 10 box. It is like $600 or something like that. So you're looking at about $60 to $70 a stick, depending on. The background on that, they don't have anything documented of how he started smoking. I'm not even going to make anything up because I don't want Jay-Z coming after me.
I know how Jay-Z started smoking. Ask Diddy.
Oh, now that you bring that up, there are some honorable mentions that we have. I was looking at all these people, and at one point, Will Smith was listed as a cigar smoker, and then you look a little bit into it, and he wasn't an actual cigar smoker, which was a real slap in the face.
Hey! Sorry. Maybe if you explain the joke.
Oh, no.
Okay.
So Will Smith slapped a guy on a stage in front of a lot of people. Maybe you didn't see it. Also on the running was R. Kelly. Yeah. And I don't know what kind of cigars that he smoked, but I'm sure they weren't mature enough to be put in his mouth yet. Other than that, so A couple more things about Jay-Z. He was quoted in saying that he likes the cigars bigger but mild. It gives the appearance of smoking something heavy, but it's not. It's just relaxing. He doesn't get with the lingo. He doesn't do the oaky flavor. He just knows what he likes. And, from his repertoire of releases and everything else, seems like he's doing a pretty damn good job.
Not bad, not bad. And he landed Beyonce, so
He did.
that's not too bad in itself.
No.
Speaking of the ladies, it's time for the first woman on our list. She is a big fan of the Monte Cristo number 2, another cigar you're going to see a lot on this. Now, I wonder about that. Do you think that's because it is such a superior cigar, or are they smoking it for being seen with it, or do they just not experiment? What would your professional opinion be?
So, in my opinion, I was looking around at a couple of different ones of these, and if you're looking into the smoking history, J-Lo, for example, she liked the look of the lifestyle, and the lifestyle part of it, I can see being a big part of it, because you can't get Cubans in America. Well, guess what, bitch? I can, because I have connections and everything. So I think it is. I think it is a straight up just a
Status?
Yeah, status symbol. Also, I think it's funny, maybe not with Miss Demi, but there's a couple other ladies that are coming up soon, and more ladies that you research will smoke blends that aren't Cuban, like Padrones or Olivas or anything like that. And then you get to the guys and it's like, nope, Cohiba, Monte Cristo, that's my stick, blah, 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 blah. So yeah.
Well, we always knew that women were more, easily adaptable and willing to change.
Absolutely. Perfect. Yeah.
Which is Demi Moore. There you go.
Yeah.
Pierce already let it out of the bag. So she started seeing other smoked cigars. She got really interested in it, and she wanted to understand the appeal and the ritual and the appreciation, which is a lot of it, as we preach here at Deadwood Tobacco Company. Not a habit, not a vice. It is a lifestyle.
It is.
And that's where it looks like she fit into this as well. And she started smoking them so much that Tom Cruise, that would be right after they did A Few Good Men, and Nicole Kidman at the time gave her a little travel humidor that she calls her work humidor, and has continuously been seen smoking cigars into her now 60s. So that is nice to see someone pick it up about 25, 30 years ago and continue along. So that's Demi Moore, your first woman on the list.
Not only an Oscar winner, but now a cigar smoker. A relevant cigar smoker? I don't know what the R word that I was trying to think of.
Relevant? That sounds
relevant.
Good.
Yeah.
That works like a charm.
So after we're talking about all these things, we were putting this podcast together, and last minute we got an email from a guy. We're known.
So this is from Rick. I have a question for you. I'm in my 60s and relatively new to cigars, not quite a year. Perfectly normal. I'm glad you're enjoying the lifestyle so far. He says, I really enjoy smoking the cigars that you like to shit on. Okay, fair question. Mm-hmm. He says, my question is this. Can you give me some recommendations for something different? I like to step out of my box to try different cigars, but I can't afford to buy a different cigar every time I want to try one out. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
And he's really looking forward to seeing us in July. He's a VIP for the Bluesfest. Right on. Thank you, Rick. And looking forward to meeting us, guys. Keep the podcast coming. So there are two things that we think he could be referencing. The most obvious one would be the aromatic or sweet cigars.
Yes.
And the second one would possibly be the Gurkha, which Ethan expressed some honest thoughts about last podcast.
So I think I was just the most vocal.
The most vocal.
I think
yes.
I think I could get buy-in from two other people in the room.
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
He sees the bus coming.
We didn't even actually have it. That was post VO. He just voiceovered that thing, and we were just like, "What? That was on the podcast? I didn't even know."
It's all AI, man. We have 6 fingers. You can watch it again if you don't believe us.
Crazy.
Yeah. So Rick. So we're assuming you're talking about the flavored and sweet cigars. That is nothing to feel bad about. Cigars are what you make of it. It's something that you do because you want to be involved in the feeling, the appreciation, the camaraderie with your friends and family or coworkers or whatever it is.
Or just to be by your damn self for 45 minutes.
Exactly. So there's nothing wrong with that. And sometimes, yes, we come off as being a little bit snotty, which we don't intend to be. There are extenuating circumstances on a particular brand of cigars that obviously bleeds its way into our emotions sometimes.
Correct.
But I will tell you, personally, I started off, my first cigar that I can honestly remember smoking was down at the old shop. It had to be about 7 years ago now, give or take, and it was an Acid Blondie. That's what and then I'm sure I've had other cigars too, but that's the one I remember. And then for a while, I smoked some Tabacs and the Dolce, which is kind of the caramely, smooth, creamy one, and a few like that. And then I enjoyed them for quite a long time. But I also dove in pretty heavy, so I was smoking a lot of cigars. You could ask someone who has access to the bank account and goes, what the fuck is this? That's a lot of money. So then, and I don't remember who it was, whether it was Preacher or Grimes or Stash, or it might even have been Pierce. It's like, hey, why don't you try this? So the first traditional cigar that I can remember was the Ashton 898. Now that's an Ashton classic, so it's a classic blend, and now, after being here a while, I know the 898 is just a size because that's how they're in the box, 8, 9, and 8. It's a relatively thin Toro, maybe 6-inch cigar, but a very small ring gauge, so almost Lancero-ish. And I really enjoyed it because of the difference between that and the aromatic cigar. And then today we had a good friend and customer of the shop. His name is Fritz. Fritz stopped in, and we had gotten your email, and we were talking about what we were going to do on the podcast. And he said, hey, man, same thing with me. He's like, when I went down there, I was all about the acids and the bitches and things like that. And he's like, now I prefer something a little bit different. He also is smokes a lot of meats and barbecues and stuff like that. So he wants something that goes, and he's a whiskey drinker, bourbon drinker. So we want something to go with that.
Yes. But
we also have another friend in the shop, Mr. Motherfucker. What does he smoke, Pierce?
Mr. Motherfucker has been smoking for quite some time and still likes the Isle de los Sols, which is going to be more of a brown sugary kind of cigar. So, what we're trying to say is no shame in the game. When I started smoking cigars, I think the first one that I can remember was a Cuban, oddly enough, that my friend had brought back to me when I was 16. So we rolled the windows down and drove around the tiny town that I was in, and we smoked this Cuban cigar, acting like badasses. Did I like it? Probably not. When I got into cigars a little bit later in life, I was all about the sweets for a decent amount of time, probably 5 to 7 years, I would say. So I was into the bitches, and I was into the blondies and the Kubas and Jabas and all kinds of different things. And like Randy, the shop kind of showed me that, hey, there's a different life out there. So, as usual people do, if you're going to get started, Connecticut is a really good place to start. It's going to be less inundated on the palate, and I'm sorry, guys, for everybody that keeps on watching this. We're serious now for just a second, so when we put our professor voice on and talk about cigars, this is what you can actually see in the humidor.
Don't worry, dick jokes are still coming.
Yeah, not fucking around on the podcast. But if you get into a Connecticut wrapper, is always going to be a pretty safe bet. There's going to be a decent, just borderline flavor. You're going to have some flavors that pop out a little bit more. You're going to have some heavy cream, some white pepper, some biscuit, and it's going to be pretty non-invasive on the palate. And then you can kind of grow from there. If that's where your comfort zone is, cool. If you're still comfortable smoking those sweet cigars, you're still a part of the culture, and that's all that we're trying to perpetuate on this podcast. Ethan, what was your first cigar?
No, I don't even remember. I was big into pipes back in college, but I was probably handed a cigar, and I just didn't have the vernacular vocabulary to even put it on, any sort of timeline or chart.
Yep, and one thing that you did ask, Rick, what would we suggest? So again, we're assuming that you like the sweet cigars. So there are two products that we're familiar with here in the shop. I'm sure there are others, and they're from two different manufacturers that we would recommend. Now, these are more of a transitional cigar. So the first one is from Aganorsa. It's called New Cuba Superior. Now, make sure you see the Superior on the label, New Cuba Superior. And the other one is from Asylum, and it's called Insidious. These are transitional cigars. What that means is that there is sweetness on the cap. So when you first start it and you light it up and you have it on your palate, there will be some sweetness. Now, some people get vanilla notes or honey notes. It ranges between people, but it's just a general sweetness on there, a little sugariness. Nothing granular or anything like that. It's just the wrapper. But as you smoke it, the tobacco, the filler wrapper binder, they are not treated with any type of added sweetness. And so that's more of a traditional. Now, those are both, the Insidious does come in a Maduro as well, but those are both examples of Connecticut's that you can try because your palate will already have that sweetness that you're used to and expecting right now. But then once you get maybe halfway into the cigar, the sweetness on the cap will have dissipated and you'll be smoking what is a traditional cigar. Now, I know there are other brands, but I would say those two, New Cuba Superior from Aganorsa and the Insidious by Asylum, are great great place to start if you can pick them up. And as you said, you'll be here in July, and I will tell you what, I will buy you one of each of them when you come in and say hello, and you can try them out and see which you prefer.
Rick, you got a fan, buddy. Come on in. We're going to get you smoking.
And when I say I'm going to buy them, I'm putting them on Pierce's shifters.
Yeah. For sure.
Ethan, anything you want to add, Ethan, or is that?
Man, it just takes it. I went into humidor like so many other people, and I smoked some of the name brands that I knew, and I just started there. And then you get enough underneath your belt, you start figuring out why you like whatever it is you're smoking, and then you branch out. And I just think that takes a while to develop, man.
Yeah, I think the best thing that happened to me was pick a stick.
Yep.
That you just go in there, you kind of see the cover that you like, the look of the cigar, the look of the artwork. You take it, you try it. Sometimes you X out, and that's not the cigar for you. But now you know. So if you're getting this little flavor profile in your mind, and you're like, okay, well, I don't like this heavy, I don't like these hard flavors, I don't like the leather, pepper, cedar, yada, yada, yada. I do look at a little bit of oily duddiness, yada, yada, yada. And you can always talk to any good tobacconist. You can talk to your tobacconist, and they'll kind of guide you through. And otherwise, just pick a stick, and you can kind of read. It'll say right on the box most of the time, Corojo or, Sumatra or Habano or whatever. And then you can kind of be like, oh, well, shit, I really liked that Habano more than I liked the Corojo.
Yep.
So I think I might stick to that, and then you can kind of grow with the cigar.
And don't get too fixated on the stuff that we use and other cigar podcasts and other tobacconists use. But a lot of times we equate cigars to food flavors because that's easy for people to understand. And everybody's palate is different. I mean, did you just eat? Did you just drink something or sweet or something like that? You can affect it that way. The other good thing is either there's an app called Cigar Scanner that functions much like the beer collecting apps on your phone, where you can scan the label and keep it in your phone. So you're like, hey, I remember that. I picked up that cigar in Omaha and it was delicious. And that way, if you run across it again, or if you're an online orderer, you can do that. So just kind of keep track of it in your own mind. And then you're like, okay, then you look at the details. You're like, oh, that's a Mexican San Andreas wrapper and it's Nicaraguan. Well, then you can find 20 different cigars out there that share that basic profile and then experiment from there. But if you do this, and you're like, nope, this is where I want to be, I like this cigar, there's nothing wrong with smoking that cigar. I'll tell you what, those EEs, and these guys know this, that's the Aroma de Cuba Extra Edition Especial. If we've got them in and we have enough for me to have it on a shifter every day, that's when I'm going to smoke.
I used to have this is probably before there was a really good app out, but I had a journal, and I would take the band off, I would actually glue it in, I would write the wrapper, some of the filler binder, some of the tasting notes. But I mean, they've got apps out that'll make recommendations based upon whatever it is you're smoking, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect. Absolutely. So now you got kind of a starting spot, and let us know how the journey goes. Anybody else out there that's getting into the cigar culture or wants to kind of jump ship and go to a different flavor profile, let us know what you're smoking. Let us know what you're tasting. Let us know what your favorite notes are, and we can kind of pass it along, and we can all grow together in this whole cigar smoking thing. All right, back to dick jokes. God, that was serious. Holy shit.
One more thing. Before we get back to dick jokes, I'd like to talk to you about... no, but seriously. Also, if you think we're full of shit, let us know that too. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Facebook, Instagram, and of course on our YouTube channel. And we will get back to you and read some more of these live on the air. The email is info@deadwoodtobacco.com. That goes to everybody here at the shop. We'll make sure and look it over, and and we'll try to get them on the air. We may not get all of them on the air, but we'll get a response to you. And we're all in this together. I mean, the cigar smoking population, they say, is 10% of adult males in the United States. So it's not a lot of us out there. So we got to stick together and encourage each other to experiment within the lifestyle and find what you really enjoy, and then pass it on. Bring your buddies down. Talk to your kids when they're over 21 about smoking cigars as well.
And just remember, no cigar is bad. If you like it, it's a good cigar to you. So fuck what everybody else thinks. Going on with our list.
Is this a musical interlude?
Yeah. I was going to start beatboxing again. Just thought better of it. So the next person that we have on our celebrity list is Harrison Ford. Nice. I didn't even know that this cat was a cigar smoker. Kind of super excited to find out that he was. But if you know how elusive Harrison Ford is and how personal he is and how much he doesn't really put himself out there, not a whole lot of damn information about it. So he does smoke Monte Cristo No. 2s, or prefers them. He was introduced to cigars in the most unique way of everybody on this list.
Dirty bastard.
He had a period of tutelage by Ernesto Perez Carrillo. nobody could pay for that shit today, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanted that kind of exposure to cigars and talk about jumping over sweet cigars and just going right into the fucking thick of it, that's what he did. So he had the maker of La Gloria Cubano kind of taught him. And then he's also been seen smoking cigars in public affairs, but he doesn't really put out a whole lot of information about the cigars. But Harrison Ford, fuck yeah.
And he was just on Instagram because good friend of the shop stops in every time he is here in town. Yet to confirm on the podcast, Mr. Robert Patrick, I'm looking at you. They are in a new film, a new TV series from the guy Sheridan who does the Yellowstone. So they're in one of those, and they had pictures of them on set on the Instagram smoking cigars. So there you go.
Shit.
So we thank you both for being cigar smokers. Oh, and Harrison Ford, you're also welcome on the podcast.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
throw that out
whatever
there.
you want to jump on.
I mean, he only lives about 600 miles that away.
that way. So
Pretty sure he's a pilot, right?
Yeah.
Flies himself around, and then he did carpentry work forever before he was an actor.
Yep.
So
and saved a child from drowning with his fucking helicopter.
So-
not that he's a great guy or anything, but what?
Yeah.
Wait,
What?
Yeah.
Who
Save
does
the
that shit?
children. Carpenter. Is he Jesus? Harrison Ford, are you Jesus?
There's the same amount of letters in each. No, there's not.
But there you go, Harrison Ford. Next up, another pilot. So this one, some preferences: Dunhill, Davidoff, and Monte Cristos. There's that Monte Cristo for you again. Is that the first Davidoff we've had pop
That's
up?
the first Davidoff, but good
It
Lord,
is.
it's the last one too. Thank
Yes,
God.
and this is another common way for people to get into cigars. And this guy's had quite a career. I mean, if you remember Welcome Back, Kotter, and then you saw the next 30 years, you're like, oh, I never would have guessed that that's where John Travolta would end up. So his connection with cigars is a lot like many people that come into the shop. It's a family connection, childhood memories associated with his father. So his father had a tire shop, and he'd smoke, just crap cigars, White Owls and stuff like that. And so Travolta said that it represents a sense of security and cherished moments in his life, the smells of the brake fluid and the oil and all that stuff with the cigars. And he says that I like to smoke at the end of every day, usually out on the terrace with a cup of espresso. Oftentimes his wife Kelly will join him and enjoy a small cigar. So there
It's
you
a
go.
family affair.
Just a normal guy.
Yeah, just
With
just a normal guy with
a few $100
billions
million
of dollars. Yeah, I'll take 13 Dunhills. Yeah, thanks. Just wrap them up. Yeah. Can you break this $1,000 bill? All right, sounds good. Next up is Ron Pearlman, which is one of my favorite things on here. It was DeVito and then Pearlman, so sorry I didn't give you the gold on these ones.
That's quite all right.
Ron Pearlman, star of things like Hellboy and Sons of Anarchy. You can actually kind of notice that most of the things that he's in, he kind of sprinkles those cigar smoking in here, and I'll show you or tell you why in a second. He is a Hoya de Nicaragua. He is a Hoya de Monterrey. He really loves those Hoyas.
Hoya.
But he likes to smoke big old fat cigars. Pearlman journey into cigar smoking began in the 1970s with a friend who introduced him to the pleasures of fine tobacco. God, that sounds more sexual than it should. He was particularly drawn to high quality cigars. Who wouldn't be if they can afford it? He also is known to pick parts and then incorporate the cigar smoking into the parts that he picks. And I quote, so I can continue smoking all day.
Perfect.
What?
Yeah, you get
That's
to that
exactly why I work here. We're like one fucking person, man. That's awesome. But yeah, that's Pearlman. In 2004, the movie Hellboy, his character was known for smoking a cigar. He even uses some of the same cigars that he smokes in real life for the film. So can you imagine getting hired for a film, getting paid for that film, and then getting a stipend to go, hey, go get some of those cigars that you like. Hellboy smokes cigars. And he's like, oh, shit. Okay. And then go and do that. I just think that's one of the most badass cigar smoking.
Yep.
anytime you
thing.
can take it out of your prop allowance or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, it's plus if you look at it, if you just see him walking around, you're like, that's a cigar smoker. Yeah. I mean, if you have the stereotype, it's like, yep, that's him. Perfect. Looks like I get all the women on this list.
I'm sorry.
That's quite all right.
Oh, not for this one, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Best known for appearing nude in Playboy, and she was also Miss America and had a singing career and an actress and stuff like that.
She's not Miss America anymore. They pulled that shit from her.
They did. They pulled it right out of her rug, and she had.
I don't even know what that means.
Okay, I'll explain it. You know what a Birkin is? No? All right.
No, that's gherkin.
Firkin?
No,
Birkin.
Yeah, firkin. Yeah.
So anyway, it's Vanessa Williams, everybody.
Yes.
So
We're not insinuating that she has one.
No,
Merkin.
No. But if you have the issue from 1983, it's under my mattress to this day. She was also introduced to cigars by number one on this list, Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger. So there you go. Taught her how to smoke properly, and then she picked up the habit from him. She does have pictures on the red carpet smoking. Props to you. I love it. I just wish that one of those cheesy, stupid ET correspondents, instead of "What are you wearing?" Who are you smoking?
Yeah. What are you smoking this evening, Mrs. Williams?
She prefers Oliva Connecticut Reserve Robusto. So there you go. Very specific. It's not only the manufacturer, it is the blend and the size. So good job, Vanessa Williams.
You don't have to go to goddamn Cuba to get it.
No, you do not.
So
yes, and also because I would feel bad if I did not. Vanessa Williams, you're also welcome to join the podcast if you want to. And after you see this, there's no way in hell you will.
Bring Harrison Ford with.
So there you go, Vanessa Williams. That doesn't wrap up the women, but that's the second one. And then
wrap up.
We're back to Diddy again.
Yeah.
Hey. So next, and Pierce has the last one for this. We got some honorable mentions coming up too, but this one got to be right up there with Arnold.
Right up there with Arnold is his longtime movie nemesis, Mr. Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone enjoys smoking a Fuente Opus X. And actually, that's kind of a off-brand of the rest of the people that we mentioned today. It is still available in the States to buy, so he doesn't actually fit the norm of only Cuban all the time. I was not going to do a voice of his, just in case he does come on the podcast. I don't want to. God, we got a lot of people booked for this show.
We do.
Stallone's transition from smoking cigarettes to enjoy cigars during the filming of the 1977 movie Fist. F-I-S-T. I've never seen that. Have you seen that?
Nope.
Anyways, he found that cigars helped him embody the character of Johnny Kovac. Bam.
There you go.
Still don't know who the hell it is. He said he smoked cigars or cigarettes for many years, probably from the time that he was about 12 years old. Same. He remembers growing up in a time and doing Rocky, he had cigarettes while he was in the ring, and he said, I need to give this shit up. So he... Can you imagine that? Just, hey, Adrian! Whack! And holy shit. That was good. He said it was going to lead to an early death, so he came a point where cigarettes looked somewhat silly to adults, or silly on adults, and then he was drawn more to the idea of curing his oral fixation with a cigar versus a cigarette because it was healthier because you're not inhaling and you're not getting all those carcinogens in your body.
Very good. And also, not the first time Sly Stallone has been mentioned on the podcast. Go back and watch the episode with Pete Johnson from Tatuaje. He has a hilarious story about Sylvester Stallone and one about Mel Gibson as well, who didn't quite make the list because there's just not a lot of information out there about what he particularly likes to smoke.
And we can do another list. I've got another, 15 to 20 celebrities. So if you like this podcast, let us know in the comments, like, share, comment, all that other stuff. But let us know if you like lists like this. I can keep on doing these. I also want to do a celebrity in the movies. What did they smoke in the movies? So keep tuned. Keep on throwing us your ideas. If you have a chance, keep on reaching out like Mr. Rick. Thank you very much for breaking the seal of reaching out. We haven't had that in a little bit, and we're glad to hear from you.
That's about it. So I'm going to take my Oliva cigar and my Shiner beer and wander away.
Or your Gurkha.
That's called a callback, fellas.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Call back.
So thank you guys for tuning in to the DTC Blow and Smoke podcast. We hope to see you around again someday. Thanks, guys.